Games. Let's talk about them. What's going on, everybody? It's been a while since I've done one of these. And the update is I've had a second kid. So it's great news. My time has been full. It has been fun. It has been rewarding. I got two kids now. And life is as busy as it can be right now for me. But that's a good thing. So I'm happy to be here talking some more games, man. I'm happy that some people actually tuned in last time, and I appreciate you for doing so. And if you're back, I appreciate you again, even more so. And if you're tuning in for the first time, that's awesome. Like it, subscribe to it. If not, move on and find something you do like. But I appreciate you stopping by either way. Thanks again. Or check out some of my other workout videos that I do. Stay fit, get fit. But I want to talk games. I'm not going to show any footage, only because I enjoy going back when I was looking for these. These are my retro game collections that I'm going through, going down memory lane. And I enjoyed looking over a lot of footage and a lot of videos of the games. And there's a lot out there. Everything here has something that you can find online. Great people doing it better than me. So I'm going to spare you the footage, and I just want to have a conversation about it and talk about it, and just kind of dive into some of the things that I appreciated growing up and over the years, and some things that I just love having it and being able to go back and play some of these things. So I'm not promising a good box. This one doesn't look great. There's some good ones in here and some not so good ones here. But again, for a few dollars, I'd pick them up, and it was what it was. But let me know what you're playing down in the comments. Let me know what you might be playing, what you think I should be playing. I might have a game that you suggest. I have quite an extensive backlog, and some games I have, some games I want. I just completed Far Cry Primal maybe a month or so ago, Mafia 3 recently. Those were good. First person, Far Cry caveman setting. Mafia 3, open world, take over the town. If you like kind of that kind of stuff, third person shooter. What else am I playing? Horizon Zero Dawn, that's a great one. Finishing that one up. And I'd like to jump into Dying Light 1. I hear good things. And or Infamous Second Son, which I recently picked up. And I've been wanting to play that for a while. So I'm excited to get to that one. But going forward, Kane and Lynch. Again, I'm not promising great things. But that's the first one we're starting with. Kane and Lynch, Dead Men. Not a great game. At times horrible. Third person shooter. Co-op, so there's that. But there's also better co-ops. But I had fun with it. Starting off, I'm gonna warn you, my standards are pretty low. I play a lot of things, and they're not all great. But when I pick them up for like $3, $5, whatever, my standards aren't that high to begin with. So I don't expect too much of them. So if I get a little bit of enjoyment out of them, I run with it, and I'm happy to have them in my collection. Because oftentimes I might want to return to it. I did briefly play this one co-op, but it was mainly just a single-player experience. But I enjoyed it. Part 2, I think people said were better, but I don't recall actually enjoying it more. I think I have that one in my PS3 collection. But moving on. Well, my first generic case. I think I have 2 generic cases, and it pains me as much as it pains you to see this. I got nothing to show you because there's no pictures. Footage would help, wouldn't it? But anyway, Never Dead. Never Dead. I don't know why I'm showing you, maybe just to see the title. But this game, I don't know if it was alive when it was around. What can I say about this game? It's a third-person shooter. Heads will roll. Let me put it that way. Your character gets blown apart or has the ability to blow himself apart, and he becomes just a head which you control that rolls around. And as you roll around over your limbs, you slowly regain your limbs and your structure and put yourself back together like Humpty Dumpty. That's the gimmick, that's the mechanic, and it was fun for a little bit, but it's not the greatest game. If it sounds quirky enough that you want to check it out, check it out. It was, I don't know, a few bucks. $2.49, something like that. Awesome. I'm going to bundle these 3 together. It should be 4. I think I have part 3 in maybe my last video. I remember talking about it, but the Battlefield games. Battlefield Bad Company 1. Boop. Battlefield Bad Company 2. Boop. And Battlefield 4. And I do have 3 somewhere. I was probably playing that one maybe earlier this year, and I haven't placed it back with its family here. But part 3 I liked better than 4. I feel like I did mention that in my last video, so that might be in my last box. And these 2 are arguably when Bad Company was when Battlefield was Battlefield. So people want some of these back. The companies don't listen. Some companies. In Bad Company, Battlefield, first-person shooter. If you haven't heard, I imagine you know Bad Company, or excuse me, Battlefield. And this was another one. Lesser known, but it's known enough to know that it didn't do well, I suppose. Homefront. I actually recently beat part 2 of this one, which was open world. This is first-person shooter, linear story mode, which I'm partial to. I enjoy my linear stories. It's what I grew up with, and I like those. So I play a lot of single-player campaigns. But I enjoyed it for a few bucks. I played a first-person shooter that was different than the Call of Duties and the Battlefields and things like that. And it's, support the smaller studios, I guess, in hopes that they do better work. But again, I didn't mind it when I pick up a game for a few bucks. My expectations aren't that high, so. But yeah. I don't know why I have these. Where's the other one right here? I don't know why I have these. But I know why I have these. Because it's 99 cents, and I can't control myself. But I barely play these. I know I barely play these. I guess they're all, it kind of makes sense because Battlefield, Homefront, they're all war shooters. And I do like my shooters. But these not so much. I think they were okay in terms of popularity, in terms of people liking them. But they kind of remind me of like SOCOM, which was big. But I couldn't get into that style. Something with the combat, something with the mechanics was just a little off for me. It didn't click. But sorry if you didn't get that. Ghost Recon Warfighter, or Advanced Warfighter, I should say. Ghost Recon Future Soldier. And Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter 2. A lot of order, but that's alright. Barely played them. But, again, 99 cents. I'm a sucker. So, there's one born every minute, I'm told. Now, this game's kind of a hidden gem for me. I'm partial to Sega. I grew up when Sega was making consoles, and it was a glorious time. And I mourn their loss for consoles, but I love their games. Binary Domain, I think it's a hidden gem. I've heard it argued up. I've heard it argued down. But I think it's a good time. It's, I believe, a 4-person co-op, maybe. Online. I ain't going online with this. But yeah, single-player mode is fine. It's fun. It's a third-person shooter. And you shoot some robots. Oftentimes with genres like these, the pool is small and the options are limited, and you get what you get, and you don't get upset. But if you want to shoot some robots, I kind of like this, you know. Binary Domain supports Sega. Rock on. I love Sega. I grew up with Sega. So I love Sega. Army of Two. This is an interesting one. I think this is third-person shooter, not first-person. I think it's a third-person. It's a co-op. I briefly played this one co-op, I think with my niece, actually, years ago. I'd like to get back into it and complete it, actually, because you can play it single-player, but I'd started over at this point. But $6.99. Picked it up, $7. I feel like I might have even got it cheaper than that, but that's all right. That'll do. But Army of Two, yeah, third-person shooter. Different than some other shooters that were there, and it's a nice co-op option. If you're into that, look it up, man. Like I said, there's a lot of great people doing great videos out there with footage and stuff on a lot of these. A lot of these are, you know, these are my retro collection, so I miss some of the dudes that used to do it for this particular genre, or era, I should say. These two games, I have them just to have them. I won't talk too much about them. Sports games, NBA 2K11 and Madden 12. What are they, like 10 cents a pop? I picked them up to accommodate a guest or a cousin or somebody that may stop by and want to play some sports games, because I don't really stock up on any sports games. They're kind of all the same to me too. And I mean, like, I can't, you know, where is it? I can't, you know, shoot robots in real life. But I can play basketball. And I love playing basketball. And I can play football. And I love playing football in real life. But I can't shoot robots, you know. I can't shoot zombies. I can't be like this elite war fighter or something like that in real life. I guess you could, but I'm not me. But, you know what I mean? So I like my video games to be video games. I'm not knocking sports games. A game's a game to me. If you're playing a game, rock on, you know? But, yeah, I like my video games to be a little bit more video gamey, if that makes sense. If that makes sense. This one is an older title that came to the 360. I didn't play it when it originally came out. I guess it was big when it was big, but I don't know if this is when it was big. Perfect Dark Zero. It says 9 out of 10. The awesome high-tech first-person shooter champions, the Xbox 360. It was 2005. We're getting old. $2 though, I guess it looks like. So I guess I just picked it up because I'm like, oh yeah, I heard that was a big deal when it was a big deal. I briefly played it, but it's almost like I felt like I had to have it. For $2, it was kind of hard to pass up. So I took it. What can I say? Another generic case. Sorry about that, but it is what it is. El Shaddai. El Shaddai. El Shaddai. That's a song. It's a good song, actually. El Shaddai Ascension. $2.99. Reminds me of God of War Ascension. And now the similarities, I've never thought about that. God of War and God of War and stuff like that. And El Shaddai is, this game has a biblical twist on it. There's not a lot of games out there like that. So if that's something that you fancy, El Shaddai Ascension. But yeah, there was God of War Ascension, and now there's El Shaddai Ascension. I guess they were maybe going for something similar, but they're not in any way in the same league, I suppose. But they do have some similarities. But it is an action adventure, third person. But it was fun. I liked it. It's different. It was something obscure to add to my collection, and it was $3. So if you like something different, you're fighting demons or whatever. I remember you purify your weapon type thing as it gets corrupted, I believe. But for a few bucks, I had some fun, you know. So yeah, I'm gonna pull out this stack here, this little Big Mac stack here. I like having Big Mac stack. I like just holding games. It just feels like I feel like a kid. I feel like a kid again. But anyway, Assassin's Creed. I'm pretty sure you all know Assassin's Creed for the most part. Third person, parkour, action, adventure, and stuff like that. I'm missing maybe one or two. I know I have part 4, Black Flag. I feel like I spoke about that in my last video. So it may be in my last box because I was playing that one last, I think maybe sometime earlier this year. But Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, Assassin's Creed Revelations, and Assassin's Creed 3, 2, and 1. No, not today. But Assassin's Creed, they're fun. I enjoyed them. I have Assassin's Creed Origins. That's the most recent one I have. I know they have, Odyssey now and Valhalla. But I barely played Origins. I'd like to get to it when life and the moon and things, align. And I haven't yet, but I will, I think. The last generic case, and I'm sorry again, it pains me. I hate as a collector and kind of this is nostalgic for me. I liked going to the store, and what do? You pick up a game and you look at the back and you're like, whoa, what is that? So generic cases are just they're just so boring, But this one's worth. I wish I had the case for this. Shadows of the Damned. Shadows of the Damned. I'll show you, I guess, just so you know the title in case you want to look it up. Shadows of the Damned. That's a good game. I enjoyed it. I've heard arguments up, I've heard arguments down for it, and but if you like Resident Evil and you want something a little bit more lighthearted, this is it. It's a little raunchy. It's a little humorous. It doesn't take itself serious, but none of us should, right? So, Shadows of the Damned, that was cool. I think it was co-created with one of the Resident Evil dudes. And the other one I can't remember. Maybe a No More Heroes guy or something, but I don't know. Some other quirky game. Here's another little fat stack here. Little fat stack. Looks like I got 2 copies of Gears of War 1. Blah blam, blah bloom. Gears of War 3. I'm all out of order here. I'm a mess. I'm a hot mess. And Gears of War 2, little hard case, little fancy hard case over here. I don't get too caught up in like, oh, I gotta have that special case. Nah, I think I got that from my brother-in-law or something like that. I just want the game. I just want to have the game. I want to hold the game. I want to be able to play the game. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate all that cool stuff though. I think I spoke about this one last time, so I'm not gonna speak about it. I think it's out of order. It's not with its family, I should say, because I think I was maybe playing this one last, Arkham City. Great game. All the Batman series are pretty great. I haven't played Arkham Knight yet. Still looking forward to that. Still looking for time to play it. And Yeah. I think just going back a little bit, I think these, at least this series, one of them was one of the few games I got my wife to play with me. And I gave her the controller, and she pushed buttons. I'll give her that. You pushed buttons. Push my buttons. But moving on. Quantum of Solace 007. If you're into 007 games, again, the pool is limited. It's not that large. The people making these style games, and they're not just oversaturated on the market. So you get what you get. And Quantum of Solace I liked. I paid, I don't know, $3 for it. 007 Quantum of Solace. I even played Legends. I have that. I enjoyed that one, and I think that's argued to be maybe the worst one, or one of the worst ones. So again, don't take my word for it, man. These my standards are low. I like games, and I like them cheap, and I play them, and I move on. And then sometimes I return. Call of Duty Ghosts. Call of Duty Ghosts. Kind of all the same, right? So, yeah, Call of Duty. They're kind of all the same. But this one, and I think, too, this one wasn't the greatest in terms of the lineup. But the story with this one is I walked into a GameStop looking for a new shiny toy. And there was a gentleman trying to sell this to GameStop, but it was sealed. And GameStop's like, we can't take that because it's sealed. You got to go home. You got to crack the seal. Come back. We'll buy it for 90% off. And then probably resell it to you for 90% more. And, yeah. So I was like, I'll buy the game off you. And the dude's like, you can't, you can do that, but you got to do that outside the store. So we went outside the store. It's like the mall area, because it was a GameStop in the mall. I was like, you want $10 for it? I gave him $10. I went home, played a new game. He had $10. I was happy. He was happy. So I have Call of Duty Ghosts. And, I don't know, little story, little memory with some random dude. Don't ask me what it looks like. It's a few dollars now. If you want to get the game, it's a few dollars. So, finishing up here. I mean, this one, there's nothing I can say about this one that you don't know already. Grand Theft Auto 5. I haven't played that much of it. I know I like it. I know I do like it from what I have played, but I haven't played much. And, yeah, I think I said I had 2 copies of this, and, oh, maybe not, because it's empty. Wah, wah. But it's Grand Theft Auto 5, right? What's not to like, from what I hear? And last but not least, still pretty low, but Time Shift. Now, Time Shift is an interesting game. It's not the best first-person shooter. It has a mechanic where you have time manipulation abilities. You can slow things down, speed things up. I don't remember if it's your speeding up in theory, or if it's you surrounding, slowing down and speeding up your surrounding objects. But it was interesting, and it was a fun time for a few bucks. This is giving me like a Haze vibe, the game Haze, which, again, I got low standards, but Haze was, so don't get hazed. But Time Shift was cool. If you're looking for something different, and you haven't heard of that, Time Shift, baby. So that's it. And I appreciate you shifting your time in my direction. Thanks again. So like it, subscribe to it, share it, whatever you want to do. Pass it on, move on. But get fit, stay fit. Check out some other videos too. Some exercise if you're interested. Check out some video game videos. I appreciate you stopping by. Thanks again. Take care of yourselves. See you next time. Peace.